Sean is on the line from Oxfordshire. Hello, Sean.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, Sean. You've been listening to Julian and Fatima. What do you make of what's been said?
I'd like to thank Julian for giving me an insight into the catastrophic, smug, self-satisfied arrogance of his industry, which does the most colossal damage to people's self-esteem up and down the country when they're surrounded by utterly ridiculous images of what they're supposed to look like. And the thing is, when people are surrounded by that, more than likely they become miserable, and more than likely they feed their low self-esteem with food. Yeah. There's no acknowledgement in this debate of the psychological reasons for people being overweight, the unhappiness they feel, and that they're then surrounded by people telling them, lose weight, you're fat, you're ugly, which makes it worse. And beyond that, it's also a poverty thing. If you go to the supermarket, a can of baked beans costs 30p, a bunch of bananas costs £1.80. Yes. That has serious consequences. It used to be that rich people were the fat ones sort of centuries ago, and now it's the other way around. And then you've got him sitting in the studio saying, get off your arse, you're lazy. Why doesn't the government subsidise gym membership? Have you any idea how much it costs to be in a gym? Where are the playing fields for people to play sports? Where is the time for people to look after themselves in this ridiculous world in which we all work until we drop and have no quality of life, no work-life balance at all?
But Sean, what people would say, I take on board most of what you've said there, but that last point there about why aren't the free gym memberships and things like that, what people may say to that is that, well, the roads and the countryside is free, start by walking, that sort of thing. Does everybody actually want to do something?
Some people do, some people don't. Some people need to love themselves first. I massively applaud what Fatima said, because it is about loving yourself first. It really is. And if you get obsessed with body image through your whole life, you will end up miserable. It's what's inside that counts. It's the content of your character.
Okay.
And, Julian sits there. He sounds ugly to me in what he says. He really does.
Well, you can talk to Julian. Julian, talk to Sean, but he's right in one way, Julian. You do work for a very judgmental industry.
Yeah, I do, unfortunately. But, unfortunately, this industry is massive globally, and that's just the way it is. At the end of the day, I can tell you now, I am one of these fortunate people. I've never been to the gym in my entire life. I love to eat, and I'm happy, and I exercise. I walk everywhere. I'm purely talking about the fact that this whole conversation is about whether doctors can use the word fat and what it does or what it creates in people's minds. In my mind, the word fat, or the way I've been brought up to believe what the word fat is someone that is lazy, that is overweight, that at the end of the day, they weren't at some point in their life, they just started to get fat because they got lazy or they were fed by their parents. I mean, at the end of the day, you're fat.
Sorry, can I...
yes, Fatima, go on. Sean, thank you very much, by the way. But go on, Fatima.
Yeah, the industry that Julian is talking about is harming people, really. I mean, it's beautiful, it's nice, we'd love to see all the fashion, and we hope that it makes fashion at every size, actually. I mean, all the sizes that people come in, not only the size up to a size 8 or 10, and then the others are ostracized, because we all want to feel sexy, we want to feel beautiful. But to make this industry and other industries that are cousins to it successful, they berate the group of people like us, fat people. Or they put us, they discriminate against us. They have to use us as scapegoats and as example. Look, that's how you look sexy. That's how you get the man. But if you look like that, like a cow, you won't get anywhere. And that is a very bad example and a very bad policy.
I understand that, Fatima, but the other side to it is when people are thin and healthy, they get accused of being anorexic or bulimic, and therefore it works both ways.
It doesn't work as harmfully as it does with fat people. I told you I'm dealing with suicidal children.
Yeah, you get suicidal like 14-year-olds that are anorexic and refusing to eat because they don't want to be fat.
Because you're telling them that fat is bad. I mean, you're not you, but your industry.
Your
industry
unhealthy.
is bombarding people every day.
It's unhealthy.
It's not unhealthy.
Darling, it is unhealthy. So many people die at a younger age when they're overweight.
Julian and Fatima.
Yes.
Sorry, darling, sorry. Fatima, we've got to go back to the boy.
Let me just call a truce for a split second and speak to Zoe in Hastings. Hello, Zoe.
Hello.
Hi, Zoe. What do you make of what you've been hearing from Julian and Fatima?
Well, I'd like to back up Julian, because I think what he's saying is, to a certain extent, true. I don't think doctors should be calling fat people fat. I think they should use the word obese, as I think it's more effective as well, whereas fat would just be, harmful and mean and could just destruct them more. But what Fatima's saying about I think that she's more promoting the idea of being fat. I don't feel that people should, she should say, yeah, your bodies are beautiful.
So Zoe, you think
solve
fat
it.
people should be judged then?
No.
No, of course not. But I think that if it gets to the point where they're not healthy, I think that they do need to get help. And I think that's where we do have to say something about it.
Okay, Zoe, thank you. Let's just speak to Dave in Redditch.
Zoe.
Hello, Dave.
Hi.
Hi, Dave. What do you make of what you've been hearing tonight?
Well, it's confusing. I can't understand quite really what Fatima's going on about. I mean, if you are fat, you are fat. I mean, if you are, you are. I mean, I am. Right? I weigh 24 stone.
And I bet you're a hunk of spunk, darling.
Hang on. Go on, Dave.
I am. But I've always been big. I've got a big bone structure. I know everybody says it, but I am fat on top of that. Right? I am never going to be a small person. I played rugby in school. I was always a bit big. But what happened was I tore out my knee in an accident several times, actually, and I had that rebuilt. I cannot go out and walk long distances. Can't go out and run. But I went to the doctor, and I said, look, Doc, I'm really having difficulty losing weight. I said, the last time I lost weight, I was working in a nightclub. I was running around 5 hours a night, walking home afterwards, barely eating, and I barely lost any weight. And do you know what he said to me? You must be overeating. Didn't say anything about, well, have you tried this exercise? You know, I've not been offered proper physiotherapy. The problem is that there's no support for people. They just say, oh, you're fat, you're lazy.
Well, Anne Milton seems to think that if you're told that will motivate you.
Tell me I'm fat. I know I'm fat. I get up in the morning, I look in the mirror and I see the stretch marks, I see the man boobs, and I say, I am an awful, awful fat person.
And you should not say that to yourself.
You should say you're a wonderful, gorgeous individual.
The more you say that to yourself, the worse it gets.
Two arms. You are what you are. If you don't accept
yes, I mean,
it'll never change.
What you're saying about doctors, you're right, because what we need, I mean, that's what I'm saying, and that's what our association has been saying for 10 years, is accept people different shapes and sizes and concentrate on health, on getting people to be healthy. There are so many people who are fat because the fat is a side effect to another disease that they have. It's not laziness.
Oh, of course it is.
It's your idea. I mean, there are so many. You said yourself that you like to eat and you don't exercise.
But I'm not lazy.
Yeah, but how do you know that everyone in the world who is fat is lazy?
We're not talking about everybody. Talking about
Okay, just let Dave have his final say. Go on, Dave.
Dave, darling, carry on.
I rarely eat, right? I've been on diets where I've been on 1,000 calories a day. Not everybody who is fat overeats.
Yes, I believe you.
On occasion. But not everybody who overeats, not everybody who's fat overeats. Some people legitimately have medical reasons. Like me, I cannot exercise. Yeah. Nobody offered me any kind of discounted gym memberships. I mean, I went the other day. They wanted £25 to see me, just to see whether I would be allowed a gym membership, to show me the equipment, and then another £25, and that's a council-run gym.
Dave, I was just going to say, and just trying to be helpful. I'm not saying that you need to exercise or I'm forcing you to exercise, but try swimming. That, I mean, you just got to your local pool. But then at the same time, I've had this text in here that just says, I'm so depressed by my weight, I'm so embarrassed by my size, I don't go out in public, and the thought of going to the gym or swimming fills me with utter fear. So there is that side. See, it's quite easy for people just to say, go and do this.
It's because people like Julian in his industry making people feel inferior, ugly, and unacceptable.
Oh, hold on a minute, Fatima. What that comment that you just made was the fact that, you know, this girl's like, you know, she's scared of going out and all the rest of it. It's that's not to do with me. That's to do with the fact that she thinks that's just what the general public thinks. That's
you keep telling her that she's fat. Fat people.
I
are
haven't
lazy,
told her she's fat. I don't even know who she is.
You are generalizing.
Well,
of course, everyone who is on. Let's say somebody comes in and says a derogatory word about people from your own sexual.
We just laugh about it.
Maybe you laugh about it because you have self-confidence and you are very strong and grooved.
Fatima and Julian, we must draw a veil over that.
Thank you. Fatima, by the way.
Yes.
Love your name.
Thank you, darling. It's fat, and I'm enjoying it.
I was going to call you Tima.
Happy. You can call me Tima if you want.
You're my girl.
Please be kind. Be kind to people.
Yeah.
Don't generalize.
No, I'm kind to everybody.
I would have thought both of you must have lost a few pounds there just with the stress of that argument. But listen,
God, no, darling.
Thanks very much for coming on, Fatima and Julian.
Thank you very much.